Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Albany City Council meeting Wednesday, March 11th, 2026 at 6 p.m. I call the meeting to order, and would you please all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Maybe a roll call, please, City Clerk?
Counselor Van Drimmelen,
Here.
Counselor McLeod,
Present.
Counselor Smith,
Here.
Counselor McGee, Counselor Newton,
Hey there.
Counselor Thompson, Mayor Johnson.
Here. Thanks. Thank you all, Council. Next on the agenda is an adoption of a consent calendar. Council? You have anything?
I move to, go for it.
Okay. I move we adopt the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Thank you, Council. Next is presentations and ceremonies. Item A is presentation Polywog Program of Lynn Benton Lincoln, Leanne Trask, page 4 in your packet.
Oh, this is different. Okay. Hi. Thank you for having me today. I was asked to come and give a presentation about our organization. I represent Polywog. We sit at Lynn Benton Community College, and we serve families who have 0 to 5-year-olds in Lynn Benton and Lincoln counties. When a family finds out they're pregnant, their doctors, their nurses, whoever they're seeing to help them through the pregnancy sends them to us. And we help them to sign up for prenatal classes. We help them to get hooked up with WIC, DHS, doulas, find childcare, anything that we can to get these kids off to a good start. We've been doing this since 2017, and we've served about 4,500 families during that time in the 3 counties. Today, I thought I would give you just that brief who we are, but I'd tell you about what we're doing right now. We have a staff of 11 at Polywog and the Early Learning Hub. 7 of those people in the last year have completed certified health worker certifications. That means that they have trained to be liaisons and patient advocates. It's been proven that these people are able to come out with better health outcomes if they have someone with this training at their side throughout their health ordeals. And our staff have given a lot of hours to getting that training. Very proud of them, me included. Another thing that we're working on right now is the Oregon Department of the Treasury gave us a grant. They are not doing well with the Oregon College Savings Plan. Apparently people are not paying attention to that anymore. So they came to us, the only place in the state, which kind of surprised me, but they wanted us to help them to get families to start participating in the Oregon College Savings Plan. Lynn Benton Community College teaches about 35 parenting education classes a quarter, all for families that have 0 to 5-year-olds. So we have been visiting those classes and talking to parents. The state has graciously given each of those families $100 to add to that account as soon as they set it up. It costs $25 to start the account. The $25 drops into the account. They add $100, and Polywog is also adding $100. To anybody whose kid is under a year old, we want that start. They call this program baby grad, and the idea is to get these kids an account started so that they can roll into college. They've also made a change to the program itself. When you take a bottle of cans down to the bottle store, you can now have that money put right into a college savings plan for a child, which is great for grandmas. So that is one of the wonderful things that they've done. And the state has been very gracious to give us this opportunity for parents in our 3 counties. Also, a couple of months ago, Amazon donated 6,000 baby gates to a nonprofit in Salem, who then began calling their friends. Luckily, we're one of those friends, and offered us baby gates. Those gates sell for $100 a piece on Amazon, and they just gave 6,000 of them to us. Not to us, we asked for 200. There aren't that many baby gate needers in the whole state. So we took the 200 gates. We had a hell of a time storing them in that time, but next week is a big event in Lebanon called the Baby Blast. And we will have our big box truck sitting in front of the building and handing out baby gates during that time that the event is going on. We are very privileged to be one of the few to have those gates in this region, so we're handing them out as quick as we can. The last thing is that we wanted to tell you about is we just completed a grant from the Oregon Health Authority. They gave us $300,000 to visit rural communities in Linn, Benton, and Lincoln counties and to figure out what assets and resources they do have and what they don't have. We visited 15 communities, including many in Linn County, such as Halsey and Brownsville and Scioto. And we sat down with families with a giant map and had them put stickers on the map for where they went for services. So for example, the one that had a grocery cart on it, we put it on your grocery store. Some of these cities didn't have grocery stores. Put this sticker on your doctor. Some of them didn't have doctors. Many communities, in fact, had no doctors and no dentists at all. Several had no grocery stores. The people living in our rural communities, the ones that we picked were all under 20,000 in size, and they all had to have 2 of 3 things: a library, a health center, and or a grocery store. So we were trying to do the apples to apples thing and be able to compare properly. At the end of each session with these families, we came back and wrote a detailed report about what we'd learned. Our data manager pulled all kinds of data for everything he could about that community, and we created reports for each one of those cities in English and in Spanish. They're sitting out on our website. We also created a summary. It's about 70 pages with investment suggestions and things that these families need in these regions they just don't have. These were all presented to the Oregon Health Authority, and along with our thanks, because they were really great to work with. But organizations all over the state have been asking for these to figure out what they can do in their communities, to figure out the same basic things of what's not available in these smaller communities that they need. Have I gone over time? I'm okay, right? Okay, good. These are the things that we're grateful for, the things that we're able to provide for families in our region. And we wanted you to know that we're here and that we are ready to serve if we can. So please send families our way.
Well, thank you very much. Are you done?
Yeah.
Any questions, council?
I'm familiar with Polywog. I would get the newsletter you guys would send out.
Yes, yes.
I now have, my youngest is almost aged out, but appreciative of the efforts that you guys do and grateful that baby gates are getting into the hands of people that need them. As someone that has a child at 2.5 could figure out the Mortensen lock on our back door. You know, some of those safety measures for children are absolutely needed.
Councilman McLeod?
Thank you. Yes, when I first moved to Albany, my child was of polywog age, and I recall reading up on the classes and services offered by Polywog, and I took some classes that are offered through your program, and so I wanted to thank you for that. It was a great learning opportunity to be able to do that, and so thank you for the services you provide.
Thank you.
Any other councilors? Thank you very much. Next is item B, is presentation from Albany Public Schools Foundation, Executive Director Peggy Burris.
Sorry, my computer has decided it wants to go to sleep, so we're going to plug it in real quick. I have a presentation, and I don't start my time yet, Mr. Mayor.
I don't have control of the time, she does.
As long as I'm here with you. Yes. I don't? Okay.
You're on camera for us.
Oh, okay.
Do you mind if I?
No. So sorry. We'll skip out.
Yeah. Oh,
There it is.
there we go.
Yahoo.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter which tab.
No, I think they're the same.
Boom.
All right, thank you. Thank
Well
you so
done.
much. Thank you all so much for allowing me to be here tonight, Mr. Mayor, Council, Peter. I appreciate the opportunity. I am Peggy Burris with the Albany Public Schools Foundation, and we are a nonprofit in town that supports our teachers and students. We've been around for almost 43 years, and we're kind of that nobody knows about us. So I'm here to share all the great things that we do. The great things that we do if my screen goes. It's not going. So many great things. I'll start telling you about them. Okay. Click on this?
There you go.
Okay. All right, so we have a lot of different programs. I'm going to go through each of these, and since time is limited, I'm going to skip the main screen here. We offer enrichment grants to our principals in our schools here in the school district, and these grants can be used for anything that the principal feels they need for their school. It can be for, I'll show you what it can be for. Okay, we're going to skip ahead. Principals, I'm going to come back to classroom grants. Principals can apply for things such as different field trips that come to the school, like OMSI will come down. They will also get playground equipment, not the structure, but things like balls, things that can be used for the school itself. This last year, we gave out $72,900 to the schools through enrichment grants. Classroom grants, which I missed the first screen, but you can see two examples here, are grants that our teachers can apply for. And they can be anything from what they need to enhance the learning in their classrooms, or, as you can see on the screen there, Meadow Ridge applied for a school garden grant. A lot of schools are applying for grants for school gardens, and it's great because then they can teach the kids on how to grow healthy food. And then we also have some teachers who then apply for how to, equipment and things to cook that healthy food. So they're teaching the kids on how to grow healthy food, how to prepare healthy food. One of my favorites is there, Memorial Middle School did a 7th and 8th grade science DNA lab. So their grant request was for licorice, little mini marshmallows, and toothpicks so they can make DNA. And so it's a real tactical thing. And proud to say, in classroom grants, we gave out $94,500. Timber Ridge asked for money for their archery club, and then Oak Grove Elementary asked for equipment for indoor recess time. So kids just aren't sitting around playing board games, they're actually getting up and being physical. Peely's Teacher Supply House is something brand new for us. We started this last year as a pilot program, And we opened it up just K through second grade to see if we could handle it. And first of all, I should say we're located out at Clover Ridge Grade School. We're in the back building behind the main building. And so if you go in there, you're going to see one of our rooms, which is it's Peely's Teacher Supply House. And we have all the classroom and school supplies that any teacher could need. And the idea is that teachers can order, just like on Amazon. They can go in and they can shop for pencils and glue sticks and Band-Aids and hand sanitizer, all the things that they need once a semester. And they are able to also supply those kids that may have run out of their pencils. And teachers usually have always bought this out of their own pocket. And our goal was to have that stop. So this last fall, we opened up to all grades, all schools, and it's going amazing. The school district is great because after the teachers place their order, we have volunteers who come in and fill the orders, and then the school district's courier delivers it to the schools. And so the teachers are getting it very quickly, next day most of the time. This screen is outdated because I'll tell you, as of last August, we have given out $42,362.43 in school supplies. That would have come out of a teacher's pocket. And so we're very excited about that. I am very proud to say there are only 2 teacher supply houses in the state of Oregon. We are one of 2. The other one is the Portland Public School District. So we're very proud that we're one of 2. Scholarships. We give out a lot of scholarships. This spring, we'll be awarding 150 scholarships worth $275,000 to our 3 high schools, Albany Options, South Albany, and West Albany. This wouldn't be possible without the community support. We have Rotary that has started their scholarships with us this past year. We have a lot of service clubs, individuals, people who have lost family members and they want to start a memorial scholarship. Anybody can have a scholarship. I'm proud to say since we've started tracking, since 1991, we've given out $1.7 million in scholarships. These scholarships can be used at trade schools, community college, and universities. So very proud of that. And these pictures are just some of the wonderful students who were awarded this last year. You might recognize Matt Bennett there at the top. He has a scholarship he started last year with us. It is for best attendance for a West Albany student. So they don't apply, they're chosen because they've shown up for school. And Matt was named this scholarship after Bill Carr, who was a mentor to him when he was growing up. And Bill Carr always said, if you show up, you succeed. So Matt and Janelle Bennett give out a $10,000 scholarship to a student from West Albany with perfect attendance. Student Assistance Program. First of all, I failed to say, my board president is here, Joanne Alford, and Ed Bach is on our board, and she's gonna say, you say this at every presentation, and I will again. This is my favorite thing that we do at the foundation. Our Student Assistance Program is very unique. The high schools choose, this spring they'll be choosing 2 students from South, West, and Albany Options. These students are chosen because the school knows that they come from maybe a background where they're going to be the first to graduate high school, let alone the first to go off to college, and they may not have the family support. So these students are chosen because they know these students want to move on and go on to further education. So they are paired up with a mentor from their high school, their very first year. The mentor and the student are given a $1,500 grant, and that can be used to buy laptops, it can be used to buy dorm room supplies, registration to get into the college. It can be used for clothing, because some of these kids have had to share their clothing with siblings, and now they're out on their own. And they're also given a $2,000 scholarship that's renewable for 4 years as long as they stay in school. I love this program, and I have to tell you, we have a really great success story that just happened this past week. One of our students who's 3rd year at Oregon State, and he's also one that I'll tell you, he did an Ask video for us, and he talked about all the great things that we've done, but he was most excited that he was able to buy out of his grant money a laundry basket. It was life-changing, he said, to have his own laundry basket. Well, this kid, this student, was just accepted into Boeing's internship program. And this is huge for
big
him. And
deal.
he said to us, I am so thankful for everything you have done for me. I would never have been able to get through the hardships of these past few years personally, while staying connected in school without your guys' support. And because of that support, I'm now doing the hardest part of being in this major, is breaking into the industry. We are so proud of him. It's like a proud mom with these kids. So our student assistance program is amazing. This program we've had to cut back along with a lot of our grants because our grant funding has decreased for coming this next year. And so anybody can support this program. You just give me a call and we'll make sure we can get more kids into it. Water awareness. Our 3rd and 4th graders in our school district learn how to swim. I get the privilege to let Kim Leday know, I don't know if she's back there or not, every year how much money we're going to be able to give them for that program. We have an endowment that is set up with us that is to fund water awareness. And so we're really proud to be a part of making sure kids in our community are getting swim lessons. So to support all the things that we do, we have to hold events. And our first event that I'm going to mention here is our I Celebrate. It's a gala auction and a paddle race, and that will be held October 24th. And I would love to see you all there this coming fall. It's going to be held at the Lynn County Fairgrounds. This Saturday, I'd love to see you all show up for Saturday. It's our I Run for Kids and a little leprechaun dash. It's going to start at 9 a.m. at West Albany Track. We'll start out with our 10-milers going out on the route, and then at 9:15, kindergarten through 2nd grade will be able to run around the track twice. They'll start out with all the mascots we could get to show up. The middle one there is Peely. That's our mascot, and LBCC's mascot will be there, and the kids have a blast. These pictures are from last year when the rain was coming down sideways, and it was crazy. We're hoping this weekend's better. And then our 5K will start out at 9:30. Our I Swim for Kids is an old-fashioned swim-a-thon. We're having that on April 25th. We really don't consider this a fundraiser for us because all the money we raise goes back to the kids via classroom grants, classroom parties. If you're a student that has raised the most in pledges, you get a Dutch Bros chocolate party, and then we award the school that had the biggest increase over last year. A couple years ago, we started looking at our Title I schools and wondering, why are they not showing up for this I Swim? It's totally free, but it does cost $40 worth of pledges to get a free t-shirt. And we said, we're missing that. We need to remove that barrier from those kids that don't have the means, the grandparents or the parents that can sponsor these kids. So we went out and started getting public support. For $40, we'll get a kid in the pool. For $100, a business can sponsor 2.5 kids. I'll find the other half to get the rest of that child in the pool. But the idea is we wanted to break down that barrier. So last year we had enough to do 3 schools with 10 sponsored students, and this year we want to add a 4th. So again, if you're interested, give me a call. And here's some pictures from last year. I'm sure I'm running out of time and I don't see a clock, so, I see it, it's down in the corner, I gotta talk. Okay, our I Retire, this started out as a lunch and learn a few years ago when we moved it to an evening edition, and we offer this I Retire, yes you can, totally free to the public. This one's gonna be held May 7th, and it's for the general public, and I have a wonderful speaker who will come in and talk about all the things you need to do to prepare for retirement. The one that we do in November is for our teachers, administrators, staff in the community that work for GAPS that have to navigate PERS. And so the same speaker will tell them what you need to do to prepare to retire using your PERS, Social Security, and all of that. So that is also free, and that will be held in November. And we're really excited to offer these for the community. We try to be out in the community as much as we can. We were at the Downtown Twice Around Parade. We do community events. We're at Pride. We're all the places we can to get out and let people know we are not the school district. We're here to support the school district. And then Peely the Apple, quite the celebrity. It's our little mascot, and everywhere we go, and the Peely is there, the kids, oh, Peely. It's very exciting. Sometimes they think he's a tomato, but he really is an apple. And so we get Peely out into schools quite often. Volunteers, we have an amazing volunteer base, and I couldn't be more happy. The middle picture there, the gardening, is HP. They just contacted me today and said they want to come pull weeds again. I said, great, we'll have you. You can see the students. We have tons of student support for our iRun, and then we had the Willamette Valley Jaguars last year counting laps for us. Unfortunately, they have a game this year on the 25th, so we're not going to have them, but if you ever want to volunteer with us, we'll put you to work because we have a lot of opportunities. I went really fast. I apologize. There's so many other programs that we have supported, and we hope to continue to support them as soon as we find more grant funding.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Council questions for Peggy?
No questions, but thanks for what you're doing. I'm a Pell Grant recipient. My parents didn't go to college, and it was actually where I grew up, it was our fire department that actually, because surprise, volunteered the most out of my high school. And they recognized that, and they pulled together, and they actually got me money so I could get my dorm set up.
Great.
So thank you for the work you're doing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It really means a lot.
Thanks, thanks.
This is really big in the community, so thank you very much for doing what you do.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
And please
It might-
invite us to your events. You can send it to Eric, or you can send it to
We
us
should be
individually.
we should plan it at least for next year to do like a team 10K or whatever it is, the 10 mile or
The fi-
5K.
The 5K is a walk run, and the 10 mile we do ask you to run because it's a ways out there.
Or
and-
5K, or 1 mile. You know, we could, whatever. I'll take what we can get, but it'd be fun to do like a council jog.
Girl,
jog
I will
walk.
just come to the paddle thing. Yeah.
Okay, we'll invite you to, yeah. Yeah, we'll invite you to that one,
Which
Reese.
I've been there before.
Yeah.
The gala would be
Okay.
great, so.
Yeah, yeah.
I can bring my wife to that, so
Yes,
the gala would be
yes,
great.
definitely.
Last year, my kindergartner did the ice swim, and she swam all 20 laps. She didn't want to stop swimming. She
Yay.
loved it. So thank you for that event. She
That's
really enjoyed
awesome.
it.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.
And water safety is huge. I mean,
Yes.
when I grew up in El Centro, California, it was dippy duck, because all the canals. So people were drowning in canals by
Yeah.
falling in or going fishing, so I think water safety is a wonderful thing. And actually being an ex-Navy guy, I think water safety is amazing, because I went to boot camp, and half the boot camp company could not swim.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, so we had to simulate jumping off a ship, abandoning the ship, and you drop into a 15-foot deep pool, and you had to tread water for 5 minutes. And a lot of folks, we had to pull them out of the water. So yes, so thank you
Yeah,
for doing that.
yeah. You're welcome, you're welcome. I'll leave these over with Eric. They're just the same thing I kind of talked about if anybody wants one.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
So, 2 weeks ago, I recused myself out of an abundance of caution and concern, if I can see on some of the folks' faces. But since then, I've consulted with the city attorney, and I'm going to unrecuse myself for the next portion of this meeting. So, next on tonight's agenda is an ordinances for planning files AN-01-25, CP-03-25, and ZC-03-25, a city-initiated annexation of 11 properties on the East Albany Town Center, EATC project. This public hearing was closed on February 25th, 2026. The first reading of the ordinance was held on the same evening. Following the meeting, city staff was provided with a hard copy of testimony by a member of the public that was alleged to have been sent to the city prior to the comment deadline on February 25th meeting. This item was attached to the revised council agenda in the packet for tonight's meeting. Before we begin, I would like to request a report from City Attorney Sean Kidd and Community Development Director Matthew Rutgers on the handling of the action item tonight. So Sean and Matthew?
Meant to be. There it goes. I think Matthew's going to say something first. So.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I did want to address the testimony that we received and first off, I'll apologize to, kind of the confusion that was surrounding this, but do want to provide some explanation there. So as the mayor indicated, and as you saw in the emails, we did receive notification that there was a piece of testimony that we believe that we had missed. And the initial reaction there is, I hate to use the term again, but out of abundance of caution, we always err on the side of engagement. So that's why we developed the plan to basically reopen the record, to admit the testimony, and then close the record again. But I don't just stop there. You know, when I hear that we've missed something, I look into it and I want to know, well, why did we miss it? Are we going to have this problem again? So in checking with the staff member, David Martinell, the planning manager, that's where the emails were supposed to go. He actually did not receive the email. So then we set our fantastic IT team out to investigate a little further and understand, well, what happened here. They spent some time looking at this, doing the forensics, and Sean Park is here if you want to get into the ones and zeros on this, but essentially the report that came back to us was the email that was sent from Mr. Settlemyre never hit our system, so it didn't come into any of our email servers. He equated it to, as you drop a piece of mail in your mailbox with the stamp on it, that doesn't mean it's going to get to its recipient. And we can tell, even if it was considered spam or anything else, we log that it actually came in and touched our system. And in this case, we have no information that it ever was received. So obviously I have a couple duties here. One of my duties is to make sure that we've got all the testimony that was received by the time that by the deadline is incorporated into your packets for consideration. I also have a similar duty, which is the opposite, to make sure that we're not admitting testimony into the record that was received after that deadline was hit. So all of the information that we have indicates that that email never was received by the city. And I think it's important. Obviously, we could have just accepted it, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't have a bigger problem. Like, if we truly had a process problem on our end by we received an email and it didn't get processed, that's the reason we investigate further, determine that our processes are true and they're not at fault here. You know, we didn't actually receive the email. Now, I'm not suggesting that Mr. Settlemyre didn't send it. I'm just saying that something has occurred between him sending it and it getting to us. And similar to back in the day before email existed, we used to receive this, you know, an example is I'm on my way to testify at a public hearing and I get a flat tire and I miss the hearing. Do I get an opportunity to still provide my testimony? The answer to that question is no, and that's what the law will tell us. It's very similar when we talk about even electronic submittals. For us, we have to hold true to that deadline that's posted with it, and that's make sure that it's fair for everybody, fair for the applicant, which in this case is the city, and also fair for the people wanting to submit testimony. I felt it necessary to kind of give you a little explanation as to why, because it certainly, and I again apologize for the confusion, our initial reaction is always to err on the side of accepting the testimony, but we also, like say, have a duty to make sure that we're not admitting something that would be against the law, essentially. So the testimony that was received, we have no evidence that suggests that we've ever received it, therefore we can't admit it. And I'm happy to answer any questions. If you want to hear the more technical answers to that, Sean Park, our IT director, is here to help answer some of those questions.
Council, any questions for Matthew Ruckers, Director Ruckers?
Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is a one-off and it won't happen in the future.
Yeah, I hope that as well.
Yeah.
Appreciate the thoroughness.
Thanks.
Thank you. Sean, do you have any comments?
No, nothing unless y'all have any other questions. I mean, I would just say at this point that the testimony you do have in your packet, similar to if you were in a trial and if you're watching Law and Order and you hear the judge after an objection that's sustained, you hear the judge say, disregard that testimony. You have it, you've read it, we understand that, but you shouldn't consider that in your decision tonight, so.
Thank you. We will now move to council action on this item. Ordinance proclaiming annexation. Would the city attorney please read the ordinance proclaiming annexation the second time in title only?
An ordinance proclaiming annexation of properties identified on Lynn County Assessor's Map number 11S03W09D tax lots 600, 700, 701, 702, 800, 801, 901, 902, 1402, 1403, 2500, 2700, and 2800. Amending ordinance number 4836, which adopted the City of Albany Comprehensive Plan map, and amending ordinance number 4441, which adopted the City of Albany zoning map by amending the Albany zoning map and adopting findings of fact and conclusions.
Would the council like to make a motion to adopt the ordinance proclaiming annexation?
I'd move to adopt the ordinance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion, council?
Yeah, I have
Yes, please.
discussion. Thank you. At the last council meeting we had where we discussed the East Albany annexation, I misspoke, and I would like to thank Councilor Smith for correcting me in that the City of Albany is not growing at an unprecedented rate, as I had thought. The city is, however, growing at a rate that is uncomfortable for many residents, as evidenced by the National Community Survey results. I would like to take a few minutes to talk about how those results relate to this proposed annexation. Well-planned residential growth and well-planned neighborhoods in Albany were rated lower than their respective national benchmarks at 24% and 34%, down from 38% and 42% 2 years ago. Additionally, overall quality of new development is down 28% from 39% 2 years ago, which is also lower than the national benchmark. Land use planning and zoning also came in below the benchmark, down 15% in the last 7 years. This means that people in Albany are not happy with the amount and type of growth and development that we are seeing, nor are they happy with the decisions that we have made about what we do with our land. The quality of services overall provided by the City of Albany was rated lower than the national average and was rated almost 10% lower this year than in 2023. Criteria 2 of the staff report speaks to infrastructure. I disagree with the findings of fact indicating we have adequate emergency services and water services for this annexation, as well as the finding of reasonableness. The quality of police services in Albany is rated lower than national average, and the rating is down 10% from 2023. Emergency preparedness is rated lower than the national average, down by 12% from 2 years ago. Additionally, the findings of fact do not even address street infrastructure findings, even though streets is indicated in the definition of the infrastructure criteria. We all know residents are unhappy with our streets. Street repair rated much lower than the national average at only 14% this year compared to 27% just 2 years ago. Without raising taxes or receiving an infusion of financial resources into our police services and street maintenance, if this property is ever developed, satisfaction in these areas will continue to deteriorate further. I believe we're not utilizing all the criteria relevant to this issue and not giving particular attention to input provided by the public as we are instructed to. I feel it's in the long-range best interest of the general public to not approve this annexation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other counselor? Counselor Thompson?
Yeah, I want to add to, or I want to dovetail on the excellent comments from Councilor McLeod and add that something I didn't bring up at the last hearing, and that's within the staff report of February 13th, which I believe is on page 93 in the packet, it goes through, I'm highlighting the comprehensive plan amendments that would happen if this were approved, and it talks about at one point, at Plan Amendment 1.9, it talks about the housing needs assessment, I believe that's the acronym HNA, calculated Albany concluded Albany would need 1,328 acres to accommodate projects up until 2040. And then right below that, on number 110, it estimated the building lands inventory estimated the city had within its city limits right now 1,397 buildable acres for residential development, and that was concluded if they were built at the lowest density. If any of them were built at a higher density, you would have more acres. But my point being, by this own statement, there is land available for building within the city limits right now, and creating this significant annexation is putting the cart before the horse. That's what I wanted to add to my testimony from last time.
Any other counselors? Counselor Smith? Counselor Van Dremlin?
I have a question.
Counselor Smith has a question.
I didn't hear the source of the statistics that you were quoting.
That was the National Community Survey, the results of which we were presented with a few weeks ago.
Thank you.
Okay. We've had discussion. Will the recorder, excuse me, we've had discussion, first and a second, and a discussion. Do I have all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Say no?
No.
No.
Can we roll call, please?
Counselor Van Dremmelin. Aye. Counselor McLeod.
No.
Counselor Smith.
Yes?
Counselor McGee.
Aye.
Counselor Newton.
No.
Counselor Thompson.
No.
Looks like we have a tie, so the mayor can vote.
So I'm voting yes on this project, on this particular vote, because several years ago when I took office as mayor, one of the first things I started, initiated with staff, was a housing affordability task force. Because the state of Oregon is short of housing. We only built apartments, low income, and single-family homes. This project is going to allow for multifamily. It's going to be a walk.
Point of order,
Yeah.
we're voting, not discussing.
Yeah.
I'm telling people why I'm voting yes.
Well, you should have said that as.
That is proper
prior
for
to-
discussion,
yeah.
Mr. Mayor.
I mean,
Okay, all right.
I would
wasn't
have
sure
done a
if I could-
colloquy
that's-
myself.
I got you. I'm voting yes. We're done. Thank you. Will the city attorney please read the ordinance withdrawing, would the city attorney please read the ordinance withdrawing the property from Albany Rural Fire District Protection District in title only?
Yes, Mayor, I just want to make sure we didn't have if anybody needed to come up and talk about that, if.
Well, it all just says read the ordinance, and then will the council like make a motion?
Okay, they don't. I didn't know if David wanted, or if anybody was coming up, or if there was any questions on why we do this, but I'm happy to do it. An ordinance withdrawing territory identified on Lynn County Assessor's Map number 11S03W09D, tax lot 600, 700, 701, 702, 800, 801, 901, 902, 1402, 1403, 2500, 2700, and 2800 from the Albany Rural Fire Protection District.
Good. Would the council like to make a motion to read the ordinance the second time in title only?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Was there any discussion? Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no.
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 Thank you. We have to bring it back for the next meeting for our.
Yeah,
second
it'll come
reading.
back to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. We'll return to the normal agenda. There's public comment. Public comment is a time for Albany residents to speak and for councilors to listen. The council won't discuss topics or make decisions during public comment, but will take the comments and requests under advisement. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and must follow the council's rules and observe the same standards of decorum. If unable to do so, they'll be asked to step down and take a seat in the audience for the rest of the meeting. When you get to the microphone, please give your name and state whether or not you live in the city of Albany, Oregon. How many we got? 4? Anybody online? Zachary Draper, excuse me.
Good evening, Zach Draper, Albany resident. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Zach Draper, and I'm the commander of the VFW Post 584 here in Albany. I'm also a fourth-generation Albany resident, a husband, a father of 2, and this community means a great deal to me. Our post is a very active organization, works hard to support our local veterans and stay engaged in the community. From honoring all of our fallen heroes to supporting fellow veterans and their families, we take pride in continuing the mission to serve long after the uniform comes off. Unfortunately, our current building is very old and no longer allows us to fully support the programs, events, and outreach we want to provide for our veterans and our community. Looking ahead, we've focused on the future of the VFW Post 584, creating a space that better serves veterans, brings people together, and strengthens the connection between the veteran community and the Albany as a whole. I'm excited to see the East Albany annexation could provide an opportunity to make this future possible. Growth and expansion of the East Albany would also provide many opportunities and resources for our community, from new services and gathering spaces to increased support networks for veterans and their families. It's an opportunity to strengthen Albany while continuing to honor those who have served. As a member who grew up here and is raising a family here and plans to be here for many years to come, I care deeply about ensuring our veterans continue to have a strong place in this community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Kevin Cornerstone? Please refrain from clapping. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kevin Coverstone. I've been a resident for 43 years now. Grew up in Albany. My dad was law enforcement for 25 years, retired. So the thing that I've seen a lot of, and I'm actually happy to see, is the protesters that protest between 3rd and 5th on Ellsworth Street, usually once a month or so. I actually had the opportunity to get to know one of those protesters, and she said that they're really for making sure that they're following all the laws and rules of like public safety. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good to hear. And because you see a lot of stuff, you know, on the internet and stuff, and I'm really grateful to see that people want to do peaceful protesting but still get their point across. So they're very big on public safety. But the thing that I've also noticed is, so the people that I'm talking about first is people that are actually doing organized protesting. The people I want to talk about second is people that are not doing organized protesting. And that's where I've seen some problems with public safety. Like, for example, people like impeding traffic on Ellsworth Street and acting like somebody's gonna cross the street, and then you know, they're not. And then laying their horn on really aggressively and for a long period of time. And I can tell that the organized protesters at those unorganized rallies, if that's a word you want to use, are not happy about that. That's not what they want. I've also seen, how much time do I got? So there's been a couple problems. There's been a couple problems. For example, like, I've heard complaints from people that are in City Hall that are employees that couldn't leave work on February 20th because people were blocking the entrance over here that were protesting actually on 4th Street, not on Ellsworth. I've seen some other issues too, but I want to say, because this is obviously City Hall, and I heard that from the security guard that that works here most of the time. So I just want to address that. But anyways, I want people to keep protesting. I want people to keep exercising their First Amendment rights and concerns of how they feel. So, thank you.
Next is Cameron Sotomayor.
My name's Cameron Sotomayor, Albany resident. I just want to add a little bit of my side of the story, some stuff you heard before, and talk about the public process, the public hearing, and trust in government. On the previous land use hearings you heard, I sent an email concerning it on Tuesday, February 24, at 8:14, the evening before. And I know that because I've got the email right here with the full email header on it that I got directly from my server. when you submit testimony, you expect the government to receive it and to let decision makers know about it. And when I found out that didn't happen, and I tried to rectify the situation, instead of the city trying to make it right, they doubled down on it. They failed me. They're not holding up fairness. They're not allowing public testimony that was submitted during a legal time frame. And that's very disappointing to me. The other thing that should be noted is if I was going to submit something here during business from the public as written testimony, I get an email back right away from the city saying, hey, we got your testimony. If you submit during a public hearing, be it land use or any other public hearing, that doesn't happen. It goes off into a black hole. And you have to assume that the city got it if it doesn't bounce back. So for the city to say, oh, well, the process was there, they don't have a right process set up. And when it's pointed out, they don't fix it.
Thank you. Mark Stewart?
Good evening. My name is Mark Stewart, and I'm an Albany resident. I came here under the working understanding that the annexation piece was going to be completely reopened, and there was going to be further opportunity for public testimony. So I wrote a whole big thing down, and primarily concerned with the VFW, and I've since handed that off to them, and maybe it is for the best that it's just between me and them that they get this. But also, as much as what I wrote for them and for the city, I wrote for the public as well. Monday when I walked down here for the meeting, I had a woman drive by in a truck, and she came to a complete stop to roll down her window, stick her head out, and thank me for my service. And I felt horrible. And the more people keep thanking me for my service, the worse and worse I feel. In the course of the testimony that I intended to provide tonight, I intended to essentially shatter an illusion that I think is the current relationship between the public, the military, and veterans. Because every time someone thanks me for my service, as I am actively watching our Constitution be trampled, I have to wonder, how long is it going to be before people no longer come up to me in public and are thanking me for my service, rather they start demanding, where were you? Where were you when my neighbors were dragged off? Where were you when my children were kidnapped by the government? Where were you when we were fleeced for millions of dollars? Billions of dollars at this point. Where were you when habeas corpus died? And I don't have an answer for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on tonight's agenda is item 7, action items. Item A is, 7A is resolutions, award a contract to Brown and Caldwell for the Vine Street Viability Study, WTP-26-02. Stacey Bell Castro. We can wait till everybody departs.
Pardon?
We can wait till everybody departs.
Okay. They're not going to stay for my staff report.
Okay. We can go ahead and go. Thank you. Please proceed.
Good evening, Mayor and councilors. For this item, staff is requesting that council, by motion, approve a resolution that will approve a contract with the consultant Brown and Caldwell in the amount of $757,470. This contract is to complete a viability study for the Vine Street Water Treatment Plant. The Vine Street Water Plant is one of two plants that currently supplies the city's drinking water. Built in the early 1900s, it has been making drinking water for Albany for over a century. The second treatment plant, the Albany Millersburg Water Treatment Plant, was constructed in 2005. Today, either plant operating alone can supply the water demand that the city needs. But when you look ahead in an estimated 20 years, plus or minus, based on population growth, this will no longer be the case. The Water Master Plan that was recently adopted just in 2024 recommended a completion of a viability study on the Vine Water Plant. This was because the plant's over a century old. It's aging, it's seismically vulnerable. A number of the buildings are historic. And it's in need of major investment in order for it to continue working long-term. Because of these concerns, this study was identified as a high priority in the water facility plan. It is in the capital improvement plan and also included in the biennium budget. The study will compare the cost and long-term viability of rehabilitating the Vine Water Treatment Plant versus constructing a new water plant at another site versus expanding the capacity at the city's newer water plant, the Albany Millersburg. The study will also evaluate how these different alternatives impact the related ancillary facilities. This includes the hydroelectric facility that's located at the Vine plant and the water rights, the non-consumptive water rights, and then also the Santiam Albany Canal. The results and decisions that are going to be made during this study will have long-term impacts on the community, and because of this, Brown and Caldwell's scope of work includes a communication plan to discuss key milestones. There will be at least 3 times that we check in with council. It will be to provide an overview of the project purpose and approach. We'll discuss the screening and evaluation of alternatives and results, and then we will also discuss the outcome of the evaluation and next steps with council. Because this is probably going to be, it's important to the community. The work's also going to include information that will be developed to share with the community. This could be flyers, website content, and FAQs. So while we only received one proposal in response to this RFP, Brown and Caldwell is very qualified. They were a sub-consultant on the recently completed Water Master Plan and are very familiar with the Vine Street plant. Staff recommends that council, by motion, approve the resolution that will approve the contract. Are there any questions?
Council, any questions for Stacy?
Can you explain the source of funding for this study?
The study will be funded from water capital funds, water rates.
Water rates.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we already have the money?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other council have any questions? concerns?
I just know that the Vine Street water station is very beloved in my neighborhood. So I had some neighbors reach out and they were very concerned. They're like, oh no, they're gonna get rid of our, people feel very attached to it. So I don't think that this is a step to close it. I think it's a step, from what I'm reading, a way for us to, look at future investment decisions, potential upgrades, improvements. So looking forward to hearing the results of this study.
Are we going to be talking about seismic investment in that? Seismic,
Yes,
so
absolutely.
that's a concern for all of us, I think. People are worried about the cascading earthquake, and, seismic retrofitting is going to be very important for that project.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If I can add, I was going to ask about that too. We did some seismic work on the Vine Street plant about a dozen years ago.
We did with the FEMA grant, and that grant was limited to retrofitting key parts of the water process so that we could make water within 72 hours. But it didn't retrofit the facility to make enough drinking water for the community. It was just to make enough within 72 hours if there was an emergency.
Thank you.
Any other counselors have anything? Do I have a motion? Oh, you got something? Please.
I move to adopt the resolution for the viability study.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Thank you. Resolution as this items B, as exemption from competitive bidding to purchase a fire engine using competitive purchasing. Kevin Vining. Did I say it right? Which one was right?
Yeah, Vining.
Vining, okay, thank you. This is your first time before us, I think.
I think it's my second time.
Second time, okay.
Yeah. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The Albany Fire Department is requesting this evening approval to purchase a new Pierce fire engine from Hughes Fire Equipment out of Springfield, Oregon, using an existing cooperative purchasing agreement through NPP.gov and Pierce Manufacturing. We initially attempted to secure funding for this purchase through an AFG grant that we had previously received, but were unsuccessful this go-around. The cost of the new engine is $1,444,639,000 after a $94,269 prepayment discount. There are several reasons we would like to continue purchasing Pierce fire apparatus, but I would like to highlight two key considerations. The first is emergency response. 4 of our 5 current engines, as well as our truck company, are Pierce. In a profession where seconds truly matter, having standardized apparatus allows for maximum efficiency and effectiveness on emergency scenes. Our crews have trained extensively on Pierce engines and have relied on them during real-world incidents. Our apparatus design committee has also thoroughly evaluated our apparatus specifications over the years to create a design that emphasizes emergency response performance, simplicity, and reliability. The second is maintenance and vehicle downtime. Our mechanics are highly experienced with Pierce apparatus, and standardizing our fleet enables them to keep common parts in stock and remain familiar with all vehicle systems. This streamlined approach shortens repair times and ensures engines can be returned to service, supporting our community as quickly as possible.
Council, any questions? Any feedback? Anything at all?
So we're getting like a $100,000, almost like $95,000 prepayment discount?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we've already budgeted for this?
It's going to come out of the fire department's equipment replacement budget.
Sounds great.
I'm just curious, how does that compare? I mean, everything that you've said about the Pierce equipment, the standardization, that all makes a lot of sense to me. I'm just curious, how does that compare with like other types of fire engine that we could purchase? I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah, so there's really 3 like leading manufacturers of fire apparatus in the United States: Rosenbauer, the Rev Group, and Pierce out of Oshkosh. They offer somewhat, comparable lines of apparatus. Cost is similar amongst the groups. So it's really like some of the biggest driving factors for us have to do with that reliability, that, you know, the familiarity with the equipment, that sort of thing.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Counselor.
It's probably helpful that the dealer is in Eugene as well.
Yes, and then they have a local shop here in Albany that we contract with for maintenance.
I love that. Also, from order to the delivery, what kind of time are we looking at?
The lead time for this is going to be 28 to 33 months, and that is on their accelerated build program, which if you select a apparatus spec that has like limited customization, it puts us into an accelerated build line, which is what we did last time, and we're very successful with that. So that's
You're
what
happy
we're
with
doing.
that?
Yep, very much so.
New engine won't be here for like 3 years, essentially, is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Okay, very
We
cool.
wear them out pretty well, I'm sure.
Yeah. What's the average lifespan of our engines?
So NFPA recommends that it is 15 years frontline, 10 years reserve. So roughly a 20-year duty cycle for that apparatus.
Okay. What are we gonna do with our old one that's maybe going out to
So
pasture?
this one is actually being purchased to replace one that burnt up in a field last year. So we actually reduced our number of apparatus that we had in our fleet by one back in the summer of 2024. So this will bring us back up to having 2 reserve apparatus.
Wait, it burned up in a field? Did we get insurance money for that?
Yes,
just
we
wondered.
did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. I'm like,
Good
oh,
question.
all right.
Nice. Okay, so Council, do we have any action on this?
I'll move that we approve the purchase of a fire engine using a cooperative contract for $1,044,639 after $94,269 prepayment discount.
Second.
Second.
And a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. It's unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is business from the council. I'll start
Mr. Mayor,
with-
Mr. Mayor, if I may, my apologies. I should have caught it for you, but we are talking about it now that we missed the appeal process at the end of the hearing. So the city attorney's equipped or ready to read that out for you now.
I'm
if you
sorry,
like.
Sean.
No worries. So yeah, this would have been right after the decision.
Oh, you're right,
but-
it's right there.
Yeah.
I just
but-
missed it.
No worries.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Just within 5 days of the decision of the Community Development Director, the Community Development Director will provide written notice of the decision to the applicant and any other parties entitled to notice. A decision of the City Council may be appealed to the Land Use Board of Appeals by filing a notice of intent to appeal not later than 21 days after the decision becomes final.
Thank you. Now we'll go to business from the council. Counselor Smith, please, start us off.
I don't have anything this evening.
Counselor McGee?
Okay, sorry. Lately, and I guess it's probably been more than lately, been receiving a lot of emails regarding things that are out of control of the city council's sort of purview. And during our strategic plan meeting months ago, I asked and requested that we have some sort of bulletin, like just really plain language of what city council can do and what we can't do. Because constantly replying to people with the same information, I don't think that it's getting out to everyone. Some things are out of our control. Our power is limited in certain areas, and I think it would be very helpful to have something on hand that we could respond to constituents with, hey, this is, not in our purview, this is not what we do, however, we do this, et cetera, et cetera. It will cut down on the multiple emails that have to go out about things that are just out of our purview, out of our power. Not saying that we don't want to do it, and sometimes I think our constituents feel like we don't want to do it or we're responsible for it, when in actuality that is not the case. We want to help the best way we know how, but there are things, again, that is out of our scope and out of our depth and breadth, and I do think that we need something that can really plain language. I'm an educator, I don't know, 4th grade, let's make it real clear and real simple for folks. And I know right now we're going through the ADA thing with the website, so I'm not saying it can pop up right there, but at some point it should. But if we could get something for us to just be able to have at our fingertips, because it is becoming a little overwhelming, and I don't get overwhelmed easily. But it is, I think sometimes people are really, really confused about what our position, what our job is, what our scope is. And I think it would be really helpful for us to have that at our fingertips.
Thank you. Counselor Thompson?
Yeah, I have kind of a process item. So last Friday, the city manager puts out a kind of recap of issues and news going on, and it comes to us, it's addressed to us, but I know it goes out widely. And this last Friday, he did a recap of the council's decision to put a pause on the license plate reader cameras. And his comments seem to just reflect, it was like a continuation of the debate. It went through the details of how many times they are used and concluded with those actions will not be able to be taken by the APD, which completely factual, I get that. But there was a very important however I think should have been part of that, which is however, a majority of the council decided to pause them. And they did so because, I mean, I would offer, we had some questions about the trust in the security of the data. So I just think that was an action of just frankly undermining the action of 4 members of the city council. I mean, I read that and thought, well, boy, that was pretty dumb, even though I was one of the 4 that voted for it. And I believe that same paragraph or paragraphs is repeated in the City Bridges newsletter. So it goes out widely. And I don't know how to deal with this. I would just say that there are times when the council takes action and dissemination of that action should be reflected. You know, I'm many times I'm on the losing end of votes, and I try to take hold to the fact that the council decides something, and I don't go around. I don't have the ability, like the city, to broadcast wildly, but you know, the council took a decision that I was on the losing side of, and so I just would wish that there are times when the city manager has a clear argument or city staff has a clear argument. If the council decides, that's the statement that should go out, the council's decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Who do I have next? Councilor Steph Newton, Councilor Newton?
I don't have anything really today. I ran into one of the members of the Oregon Law Center, and they mentioned they were going to come and see us on April 20th. Is that confirmed? Okay, cool. So April 20th, we'll hear more about the data.
Thank you. That's it?
That's all I have. Stay healthy, guys.
Okay, Councilor McLeod?
I don't have anything more to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Von Dremelen?
No new business tonight.
Thank you. All I have is I spent the day, half of the day, with high school students at West Albany High School, and I had 2 things to talk about: my business and also the city. One group picked my business, the other group picked the city. The other 2 groups picked the city. These young people are very bright. If today's was any indication of what's happening in the future, our city's going to be in good hands, and I'm really happy to talk with those children. The tiny art is coming up at the library, so please go out and judge the tiny art. I'm excited about it. I know my wife and I have a good time doing that. I think one of the director's employees sent something out about the Tiny Art Festival. And the Mid-Willamette Valley Jaguars have their first home game on the 13th at LBCC at 6:30, so I hope to see you there. And then the If I Were Mayor contest, I want to thank Matthew again Matt for collecting the information. I have the posters and essays with me. And I have to be back by the 2nd, correct? Yeah, so I'll judge them and select the winners by the second, and then get them before you guys when I pick the winners. So thank you again, Matt, for another great year. And with that, I'll turn it over to the city manager.
Thanks, Mayor. The only thing I have is, in response to Councilor McGee, there is a City Council 101 page on the website that goes into a fair amount of detail about what councilors can, what the role of the council and councilors are. And it's prominent on, if you go to the Your Government tab, it'll tell you, it'll direct you to City Council 101. And it's a good thing to forward to people. Also, you're always welcome to send them my way, and we'll connect them with whoever needs to address their issue or provide the information that they need.
Thank you. Is that it? So next meeting dates, March 23rd and 25th, City Council and work session have been canceled. The next meeting, active meeting, will be Monday, April 6th at 2026 at 4 p.m. for a work session. And Wednesday, wait a minute, why is there a skip there?
Mayor, it was never scheduled.
Oh, never
During the annual establishment of the calendar, the council made a decision to not schedule that meeting, April 8th.
Okay, thank you. And then Monday, April 13th, 2026 at 5 p.m., a joint meeting with the Albany Planning Commission.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you for being here.